Again, my name is Amelia Beatty, and I can't pass up this opportunity as we have our Fast Global leaders coming up and taking a seat to show you, let's see, a picture of my son, Orion, who lives with Angelman syndrome. Very handsome, I agree, very handsome. He's 7 years old, and he's deletion positive. So our family, we're American, but we live in Jordan in the Middle East, and we're a bilingual family. So I put the French flag up as well, because we are French-English speaking, and Orion is very much bilingual. So like I said, I'm on the board of directors for FAST USA, and one of the things I do for FAST as a volunteer is help to coordinate our FAST Globals. And it is such a privilege to work with this incredible team of Angelman parents and physicians and scientists. So one of the unique aspects of FAST is that we are a foundation with international reach. FAST Global consists of representative country-specific FAST affiliate organizations led by dynamic teams of Angelman syndrome parents working collaboratively to accelerate the FAST mission to cure Angelman syndrome. Our FAST Global leaders are in Australia, the UK, Canada, Italy, France, Spain, and Latin America. Each FAST leader brings talent and expertise to the global team in order to drive the mission forward worldwide. We emphasize collaboration and sharing across pharmaceuticals, research institutions, and other Angelman syndrome and non-Angelman syndrome organizations around the world. FAST Global is dedicated to bringing treatments to individuals in as many regions of the world and as quickly as possible. This is done through the Search and Rescue Initiative, which we just spoke about, education, teamwork, research grant funding, translation, natural history studies in the local language using culturally relevant endpoints, and local clinical trial readiness. Each of our FAST Global leaders will have the opportunity now to give the community an update on what their FAST has been doing this past year and how they are contributing to the FAST mission. So first, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Stephanie Azout from FAST LatAm.
Just click here. Where the green next? Okay. Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much, Amelia, and thank you for having me here. I am very happy and excited to stand up here in front of you, in front of researchers, in front of pharma, in front of physicians, but especially in front of the Angelman community. I think that we have come a long way, and I want to tell you a little bit about my journey and how we started FAST Latin America, because I think it is very important to show you how we got there. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of voice. So I have been part of FAST since my daughter's diagnosis. Michelle is 12 years old. We got our diagnosis around 10 years ago. I was very fortunate enough to travel to the global summits and learn about Angelman and learn about the different updates that we saw each year. And I got home and I had so much hope and I was so excited of everything that was going on. But when I got home, I also saw that there was a language barrier, that there wasn't enough information about Angelman syndrome. And talking to other Angelman moms from Latin America and reflecting upon our journey, reflecting upon also on the strength of Angelman syndrome families, who not only have these language barriers, but they also have unmet social and economic needs, we decided to create FAST Latin America in 2020. It works as an umbrella organization with official organizations in Argentina, Chile, Guatemala, Colombia, and Mexico. Yet, we really have no geographical borders. We are one community, one Latin American community, one Spanish-speaking community, together as one. And we don't do this, we not only look to engage with families, but we also want to engage with professionals, physicians, researchers, pharma companies as well, and making them all Angelman syndrome advocates. So one of the main objectives of FAST Latin America is to lay the groundwork for future clinical trials and hopefully being able to create centers of reference, hopefully like what Allison presented this morning. We're very excited for that news. And we all do this while also giving the community the right information in Spanish. And we have been able to collaborate translating certain tools like the Global Angelman Registry that comes from FAST Australia. And all this we do while addressing the most urgent and daily needs of having a child with Angelman syndrome. So how do we do this? We have launched a free diagnosis program thanks to a grant we won from FAST. It has started in Argentina and Chile and now expanding to Colombia. We have already been able to diagnose 9 patients in 1 year through this program. We decided to continue with Casa Angelman, which is an organization that is 13 years old. Maxi, the founder, is right over here, and I think that if you get to know her, she's an amazing person. And we have decided to expand this virtual program, which is making it virtual. I'm sorry. And it's an interdisciplinary group of professionals that look at an Angelman syndrome family, especially the newly diagnosed ones, and organize them, like they launch them into the Angelman syndrome world with a lot more security. We also offer webinars to our families that go from research to community building to school inclusion and in all aspects of Angelman syndrome. And this, I think, is one of our biggest projects this year. We are studying an observational cross-sectional study in 3 countries of Latin America. We want to recruit 90 patients and their caregivers in order to be able to observe and validate a lot of tools for future clinical trials. And we are actually, I want to share with you that we have already been IRB approved in 2 of these countries and still waiting on 1. But this is very, very exciting news because it will actually give us let us continue laying the groundwork for future clinical trials. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry for the time. This would not have been possible thanks to FAST Global, which is an amazing network, to the Angelman Syndrome Latin American community, to the board of directors of FAST LatAm, who are all here, and to our scientific and medical board, who is also all here. So if you want to meet them, they're amazing people, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Next, we have FAST Spain. David Fernández was supposed to be here, but his flight is a little delayed. But fortunately, we do have a video from Domingo Delgado, the chairperson for FAST Spain. So hopefully, I think I just click this and hopefully it'll...
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for supporting our goals, our mission. My name is Domingo Delgado. I'm the chairperson for FAST Spain, and here I am with my daughter Carla. She has Angelman syndrome, and we are watching what it is coming, the cure. I'm going to speak about how we started. In 2020, several Angelman syndrome mothers and fathers, we joined together with the firm intention of proposing a change in the Spanish Angelman community. We met with a group of families with identical diagnoses to offer a path of hope for something that is closest every day, a cure for our children. In September 2020, we started with what is now FAST Spain, and we were legalized finally in January 2021. As of today, we have raised more than 250,000 euros that will be wisely invested following the advice of our scientific committee, and it will be invested in the natural history study. One of the achievements that FAST Spain is most proud of is welcoming the Angelman syndrome clinics of 2 Spanish hospitals in our scientific committee, Parc Taulet in Sabadell in Catalonia and Puerta de Hierro in Madrid. In addition, we have 3 main projects. First, the biggest, the most challenging project was bringing together the Spanish community and inviting them to be part of our foundation. Now we are advancing together. Now, the biggest source of income, of funds, are the Angelman families, are them. Secondly, convincing the two main hospitals with medical specialists in Angelman syndrome to join us, to join our foundation and be our spine. And last but not least, launching the natural history study following recommendations from Professor Laurent Servais and Alison Byrne, several labs and our scientific committee. Both hospitals have signed in it, and it will be really in a few months. So thank you very much, Professor Laurent Servais. Thank you very much, Dr. Alison Byrne. You know I love you. There is a popular saying in Spanish that translates to, it is better to be a tail of lion than the head of a mouse. In English, it is something like being a big fish in a small pond. So we will live in the road mode created by FAST US. And our Spanish community is much more aware of the progress of the different lines of research. Our natural history study and our Angelman clinics will be key for our only goal, to cure Angelman syndrome. As we say in Spain, tú eres la cura, you are the cure. We have tattooed this sentence in our hearts because we know it, that our children will speak to us very soon.
Thank you, Domingo.
And yes, we got it. We thought that, my daughter and me, we thought that the cure is coming, the cure is very close. Thank you for everyone in this summit, everyone supporting FAST Spain. So I know, and my daughter know, that there will be happiness in the future coming to us. So thank you very much. We hope to see you very soon in Spain. You are very welcome.
Thank you, FAST Spain. Thank you, Domingo. Next, we have FAST France, Charlotte Préstat.
I'm obviously much shorter than Amelia, so I need to take the mic down. So hello, I'm Charlotte Préstat. I'm the mother of Héloïse, if we can... ok, super. I'm the mother of Héloïse. She lives with Angelman syndrome, and you will all agree she's gorgeous. The first thing we've done with my husband when we got the diagnosis is to come to a FAST gala. And obviously it was like, as Stephanie said, like very much amazing to see like all the research going on. And then we came back to France, and then we see people who do not speak English. Because like all of you that came to France know that French people doesn't speak English. So the first thing we needed to do is create FAST France, which was done in 2019, and then we started educating French people in French about what the science is about, what Angelman syndrome is about, and what was going on the research. So this is something we've done with a lot of social media, with a website, and one of the videos I wanted to show you is something we've done for the International Angelman Day, which reached more than 100,000 people across France. So obviously you will see the video in English, but it was originally done in French. So if we can play the video, do I need to press something? Shoot.
Shall I read you a story, darling?
No, not tonight.
No story tonight? That'd be a first. Usually you're the one begging me to read one.
Tonight I would like you to explain to me again why Lily doesn't talk and has trouble walking.
Do you remember that Lily has a rare disorder called Angelman syndrome since she was born?
Yes, but why does she have this condition?
Do you see your body?
Well, yes.
It's made up of cells. In fact, everything in our body is made up of cells. Skin, muscles, bones, heart, brain. These cells are very, very small, but they are alive. They breathe, eat, and produce energy. They work as mini factories.
Do we have lots of those cells?
Billions of them. But let's take a closer look to understand Lily's problem, shall we?
Okay.
Do you see all those little things that look like walls? They're called chromosomes. You can see them if you look at a cell with a super magnifying glass like a microscope.
There are lots of them.
There are exactly 23 of them, and each of them have two parts. One part that comes from the dad, and one part that comes from the mom.
And what are they for, those walls?
Well, the walls, they're bricks to be more precise, are the ones that provide the building plan for all of the cells in our body.
And what do they produce, those cells?
They produce proteins, which are essential for the life of the whole body. Look at all those people working here. As I said, it's like a mini factory.
Hey, but it looks like there's some kind of problem here.
Yes, that's Angelman syndrome. Do you see that brick? This is the UBE3A brick.
That's a weird name.
Yes, and in Lily's case, this brick has a problem on its building plan. As a result, the cell cannot produce some of the proteins. They are either not produced, or produced in small quantities, or they are produced but with a defect. That explains all the problems of your sister.
Ah, that's why. I understand better now.
What I've just explained to you is very complicated. Anyway, Lily is wonderful, and we love her as she is.
Oh, yes, Lily. She has the most beautiful smile in the world.
Well, it's time for you to go to sleep. Good night, sweetheart. Shall I read you a story, darling?
No, not.
Shall I read?
And I would like to thank some of the voice, which are actually voice of Fast Global. So thank you. So the second thing, while we have educating people, was really like to make sure that we bring these clinical trials back to, in France. So we are very lucky because in France we have first a very engaged community, and second we have like centers of excellence with capabilities in terms of facilities, but also clinician. I'd like to thank Nadia Baybisson, who is here with us today. The second thing is also, again, translating, because like we've discussed a lot about endpoints, scales, etc., but all of this needs to be in French in order to do the clinical trial. So it's the second thing we've done, and luckily we should have very soon some clinical trials for 2023 in France. And last thing, but we know it's all about money. It's really like to start fundraising, and we just like literally launched our first CAN campaign in France. So very like more to come, obviously, on that path, and there will be not enough money anyway. So I would like to thank all the Angelman syndrome community in France and all the people that really like helped us build FAST in France and who are following us. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Next, we have Fast Italy, Bernedette Sirtori.
Thank you, Amelia. Okay, thank you. My name is Bernedette Sirtori, and I am one of the founders of Fast Italy. And I now serve as the treasurer, and I represent my country at Fast Global, which is an awesome community. But first of all, I am the mother of Pierluigi, 10 years old, living with Angelman syndrome. Our foundation was funded in 2017, and we became Fast Italy in 2019. Our first project was to educate our community about the science in AS. Because in Italy we have great clinicians, we have great hospitals where Angelman syndrome is treated, but we lack the science. And when I had the diagnosis of my son, no one gave me hope. And that was a thing I couldn't accept when I got to know FAST. And so I wanted to give hope to our community, and we did a lot of translation. We translated most videos from the past summit here at FAST, and we also soon recognized the importance of the Angelman syndrome registry, the global registry, and we translated it into Italian. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we translated it into Italian, and we encouraged our communities to subscribe it. And we are now active in the search and rescue plan because we think it's a very important thing and an important project. As we grew up as a community, we wanted to do something more into the science. So in collaboration with the University of Milan and a very well-known neurological hospital in Milan, we set up a biorepository in Milan. This is the poster we made for the project. The project was approved by the Ethics Committee of the Neurological Hospital in 2020, and we soon started recruiting, and now the biorepository is up and running, and we have samples, and we are eager to collaborate whenever someone may be interested. Our second project was to fund Cristina Alberini's lab. We have been funding her lab for 3 years now, and this is the abstract of her last work, which is being published on the journal The Biological Psychiatric, and has been presented at the San Diego Neuroconference 2 weeks ago. This is her last work about protein metabolism in the AS brain. That's it. And I wanted to thank you, FAST, all the scientists and the pharma companies for their hard work, for their dedication. And I wanted to say that we are really proud and happy to be part of this awesome community. And these are some of our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Benedetta, for FAST Italy. Next, we have Tom Keogh for FAST UK.
Which one is it? Oh, okay, thanks. Hi, everybody. It's lovely to be here, and my name's Tom Keogh. As Amelia said, I'm the chairperson of FAST UK. We started FAST UK back in 2016. There, up on the screen, is really only a small part of the reason we did it. The main reason is to benefit the whole of the UK community. We came out here in those days in Chicago back in 2015, just after our eldest daughter, Amelia, was diagnosed with Angelman syndrome. And Tamsin, my wife, and I just thought if we could replicate just a fraction of what FAST US was doing at the time and continues to do now, it'd be a huge success story for the UK community. Our objectives are relatively straightforward and pretty similar to all the FAST organizations. We raise money to fund research into finding a cure for Angelman syndrome. That is really our primary objective. But alongside that, we raise awareness about the condition amongst the community and amongst just the general population, and we support our families along the way. Our main research project at the moment is as I think Alison alluded to earlier, we are funding a natural history study in Oxford. It's run by the wonderful Professor Laurent Servet and Dr. Dora Marchetti. They are around here all weekend, so if you've got any questions and want to know more about in detail about the natural history study, please do find them and pick their brains. They'd love to hear from you. But really what it's doing is we've got 35 people currently in it. It's across all age groups, all genotypes, and it really is a fundamentally important research tool for us, not only from understanding more about our community, but also it's been critically important in getting clinical trials into the UK, and we're really pleased to say we've got 2 clinical trials currently running in Oxford, which we're thrilled about, so we're really pleased to be able to fund this really important research. Raising awareness also is a vital part of what we do, and we do this through many ways, but social media is hugely important. We're very lucky to have a few more people on our board who are far more tech savvy than me, so they're the guys that hang out, do all the social media stuff for us. We started looking for volunteers quite recently, either with Angelman syndrome experience or not, but with industry experience in things like marketing, sales, communication, something like that, just to help us, along the way and keep us going. And actually, we're really pleased that we've got 2 volunteers came to us after an advert went out a couple of weeks ago. They've got nothing to do with Angelman syndrome. They just really fancied helping us out with marketing. They're from marketing backgrounds, so we're really looking forward to see how that goes in the next 12 months or so. The natural history study has been really important in raising awareness as well. So that's been great. And then we continue with fundraising and community events. And we're looking to do a lot more community events into 2023. We think they're really important, not only from raising awareness, but from a social point of view, bringing the community together. Everyone can have a chat and we can update as we go along. And we're hoping at some point in the not too distant future to hold our own mini gala in England, which will be really exciting. I just wanted to also say, about challenges, and this isn't really about the challenges of being a parent with a child with Angelman syndrome. We're all well too aware of those, but none of this stuff is easy. Everything that's happening at all the FAST organizations, raising money, raising awareness, recruiting for our natural history study, what all these guys are doing, it's hard work. It takes a lot of time and it's difficult. So, we're always looking to do things better, find new ways to do things. And I just wanted to say, one thing that makes it a lot easier is the incredible collaborative global network that we've created here. It really is fantastic. So I want a big shout out to FAST US, and in particular Amelia, who's really helped grow that global network. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Next, we have FAST Canada, Noah Firestone.
Hi, I'm Noah Firestone, Chair of FAST Canada, but I'm probably best known as being the voice of the dad on that fun little FAST France video you just saw. First, before I get into who we are and what we do, I really do want to acknowledge and thank Amelia Beatty. Her tireless work with the international FAST organizations has had true impact globally in uniting us towards, getting together to cure Angelman syndrome. Our board consists of parents caring for those living with AS, some close family and friends, as well as Dr. Eric Sell, a neurologist at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, who has a special interest in Angelman syndrome and hosts clinics for families to come visit. This is my reason. I know everybody here has a reason, but this is Zev. He's 6 years old, and he's just the best guy. Our primary objective at FAST Canada is raising funds to support the FAST mission to cure Angelman syndrome. And we are in the process of co-funding important research with FAST USA. We also try to help give Canadians a chance to be part of the incredible experience that we're all sharing right now at the FAST Scientific Summit and Gala. We've been pretty successful in our fundraising with our Canada Can Cure Angelman fundraising pages, raising over $500,000 to date, and we're hoping to get more families signed in to join in the fight. And I want to thank everybody who's ever made a donation anywhere in the world or raised any money, because the funds really go a long way. We're very lucky to have a partner with FAST US. They give us their guidance, infrastructure, and expertise to help determine the most effective avenues for our funding to achieve our goal to bring meaningful treatment to all people living with AS. We've co-funded a number of projects with FAST US, including the pilot feasibility of enzyme replacement therapy at UC Davis, the rodent studies of non-S-Nord 116 paternal UBE3A activation at UC Davis. We're in the process of funding the Boston Children's Hospital Natural History Study at our Ontario site, and another one that we're trying to work on in the works that we may be able to announce soon. There really isn't anything like the experience of attending the FAST Scientific Summit and Gala and hearing the latest updates from the scientists and pharmas whose work has such impact on our loved ones. And of course, having Alison wrap it all into a nice package that we can actually understand, and letting loose with an amazing community of people who truly understand what it is to live the life that we live. Every year, FAST Canada sends family to attend this event to help as many people as possible be a part of this life-changing experience. I remember just a few years ago, my wife Angela and I attended our first event. Our lives were changed forever, and we want as many people as possible to be able to feel the same thing we did. This year, we'll be sending our Canada Can page winners to North Carolina State University to see firsthand the hard-earned funds at work in the lab. We're lucky to be part of such an incredible community and honored to have the opportunity to be part of the fight to cure Angelman syndrome. Thanks.
Thank you, Noah. And last up, we have FAST Australia, Meagan Cross.
I have exactly 0 minutes, so I'll be quick. Thanks, Amelia, for the introduction, and I want to echo what everyone said. Thank you to FAST US for this amazing experience and being able to create this global community. This is my reason, Molly, who's now 15, which kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how long I've been in this and the responsibility for my grey hairs here. We started back in 2010 when the word cure was just another 4-letter word that people frowned upon. And now we're all using it here today, so we've made some really great progress. We're a very small country, so we piggyback on the initiatives of other people, and our 3 pillars of where we provide support come from our National Rare Disease Organisation, awareness and education, care and support, research and data, and a lot of what we do crosses over each of those pillars. So awareness and education, we hold conferences usually every 2 years. It was due to fall on COVID, so we're holding that this year. Our CAN initiatives largely around something we called Move for a Cure. We partner with our Angelman Association in Australia, so many hands make short work, and we do a lot to work together towards bringing all this stuff to our kids. The Global Angelman Syndrome Registry came out of Australia, and so thankful to everyone who's participated and helped us translate that. We've done a paper similar to what's being undertaken outside with caregiver burden that was talked about earlier in Australia, so we can understand the cost of Angelman syndrome in Australia. We also have a chromosome 15 biobank that we do with other chromosome 15 conditions. So like I mentioned, we collaborate with people where we can. And that's me, under 0 seconds.
Thank you, Meagan. So the work that each of our FAST Global organizations has accomplished this year is really incredible. Thank you all for your hard work and your dedication to our mission of curing Angelman syndrome.